No mai haere mai. It's the Huddy Hui. Find Huddy Sports on Instagram and Facebook. huddysports.co.nz. Now let's kōrero.
Kia ora, good evening and welcome to the Huddy Hui episode 141. The rain has arrived. It's going to be a bit of a cold southerly this evening, so it could be a little bit colder this weekend and a bit wet in the fields of rugby and other sports around the capital city and the region this weekend. Now, one of the guests we're going to catch up with tonight is, of course, playing for the Poneke rugby side that's got off to a great start this season. Isaac Jenkins is our guest on the Huddy Hui tonight. Isaac, many thanks for coming on. A strong start to the season for Poneke. What has been the keys to the strong start?
Hey Brad, thanks for having me. We've had a good start this year. I think large part is we've been like kind of a close-knit unit for a few years now. So we've had a major nucleus of us, so it's been about like 10 to 15 of us all around the same age. So it's just we'll be able to just grow a bond, and it's kind of just coming to fruition this year. Some results on the field.
Just the one loss this season against Tawa after a strong start. I heard it was hard for the team to get their hands on the ball in the last 10 to 20 minutes of that match. Yeah,
we were up for, I think, the majority of that game. Strong start out there too. They're old timers, so it was quite good to get off to a good start. But yeah, unfortunately, the last 20 kind of just faded. We lost kind of momentum, couldn't get the ball. And I also got a yellow card, which didn't help at all.
Yeah, what was that yellow card for in that game? So
yeah, well, it was just some repeated infringements in a 22, and then I got pinged for ripping it out with the knee apparently being down.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. Of course, you bounced back last week against the Wellington X-Men, 48 points to 16 win over the Wellington X-Men. What were the keys to that victory, and particularly bouncing back after a loss?
Yeah, I think keys to the X-Men was to just kind of, we knew they were going to come out firing at the first 20 because they're quite a big team nowadays. So it was kind of just to try and calm that down, but we did get off to a pretty rough start. It was quite tight for the first 40, 50 minutes. But we managed to pull away in the end. But as long as we got the 5 points, we're pretty happy with that.
Now, I believe one of the players, I think one of the forwards, scored a hat-trick of tries. I don't think we see that every day. I think it was one of the props from, I think I heard.
Yeah, Noah came off the bench too because one of our young fellas, Elijah, he done his ankle the first 5 minutes, so Noah came on, scored a quick hat-trick, which he was pretty happy about.
And of course, there's another young fella in the team. He actually a name familiar to First 15 rugby in the capital city the last 2 or 3 years, the Italian Luca Bellucci. Let's tell us about how he's adjusted to club rugby at Poneke. Yeah,
he's been good. He's been good to get a nice. He's kind of like that true number 7, just in everything. Hard ball carrier. Been playing 80 minutes recently too, so yeah, he's been a point of difference for us over the breakdown and that sort of stuff. I think he played first 15 at St. Pat's with Bondi, our coach. So I think Bondi got him over from Italy earlier this year.
Ross Bond's second season with the team. We talked to Andrew Jones about him and his coaching a few weeks ago when he was on the Hui. You tell us about him, but who actually coaches the backs at Poneke this season?
Yeah, Bondi's a character. Don't want to get on his bad side. Like in the weekend when it was pretty close to X-Men, we got pretty. I don't want to swear, but we got like yelled at in the halftime huddle. And then even yesterday at training, we got smashed with Henry Muller's fitness, all that sort of stuff, which is good for us. I think that's good for us as well. But yeah, Bondi's a good character. He overlooks a lot of us, a lot of the team. Whereas in terms of specifically the backs, we work with DK a lot and Scuds. So those two, they run a lot of our moves and structure, game plan.
We had Nihi Milner-Skouter on last year on the Huddy Hui, the influence he's brought as director of rugby. What have you learnt from him? Because he was a pretty terrific All Black in his time.
Yeah, he's mean. He's straight to the point, and he's not afraid to call you out on something or just be straight up with you. But at the same time, he's not rude about it or whatever. And he's just got so much knowledge, so it's just good to learn off him every day. And yeah, he just works with us individually as well, which is quite good.
And the pre-season for you, how did that go for you, bouncing back after last season?
Me personally or the team?
Just you personally here.
Team. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, season finished. We were probably disappointed with the result. I think must have been like Harlem Cup quarters we went out. And then, yeah, played a few games for the SARS, Wellington Samoans. And then I think my main focus was putting on weight in the off-season. I wanted to try get off the wing, move more into the midfield. So I managed to put on about 8 to 10 kgs in the off-season. And then, yeah, I think we've been at pre-season since November-ish. So just been running that.
You mentioned about wanting to move into the midfield. This leads into my next question. What is your preferred position in the backs and why?
My last 5 years, I've probably played everywhere, about halfback, maybe 10 in the back line. So originally it was probably I like fullback, but there's got a bit too slow for that. And there's this little fella at our club. He's pretty good at fullback, goes pretty well. Nick Robertson. So yeah, moved into the midfield. I felt like I could get my hands on the ball more. I think my skill set. I think I like my hands on the ball more rather than finishing tries and that sort of stuff. So yeah, probably centre. I'm loving it at the moment.
And it's noted on the Poneke Facebook page that you're well known for doing your one-hand carries and offloads. Is this the key strength of your game?
I'm not. Yeah, well, it's a bad habit. I get told off by like everyone. I know my parents, supporters after games and that. Yeah, I don't know why I do it. It's just, I guess, creates opportunities. I'm always looking to involve everyone. But yeah, that probably is a strength. But yeah, I'm not. It's a bad habit at the same time.
You mentioned your parents, Sylvia and Kevin. They've been hard-working members of the Poneke Rugby Club for many years. Tell us about them and their legacy at the club.
Yeah, so they're the whole reason why I play rugby or decided to take it back up after school. Dad was chairman for a lot of, or maybe 5-ish years while I was at school. Mum was the junior convener when I was growing up, my siblings. Back in junior club, so when I was like 5 to 10, 12. So yeah, I've just been like involved with the club my whole life basically at this point, and there was no real decision to be made. I was always going to come to PK after school.
And of course, you said you were a Poneke junior as well. Tell us about your time with the junior club. I believe Poneke had a few overseas trips as well for the juniors when you were playing.
Yeah, I missed out on the overseas trips. That was actually my brother.
Oh, yes.
So they got overseas trips. But no, junior club was awesome. There's still some boys I play with. Topa brothers and DJ, played with them growing up. A couple others. But yeah, it was a great time. Never any issues.
You made your premier debut for Poneke in round 1 of 2020. Who was your debut against and where did you play?
It was 2020 out at Nanball versus OVU. I think I was at the back. I had Sui, Money and Bruce Siali on my wings. I think we lost that game, but I just remember it being rainy, being drenched after.
And of course, what do they do special at Poneke when you make your debut for the Premier side?
Debuts, I think, well, at PK, I think it's the first start where they really acknowledge it. But debuts, anyway, you get a tie, get that presented to you at the aftermatch. And yeah, I guess just drown a bevy in the change rooms.
Fantastic. Now, 2021, there was the Hardham Cup final at the Hut Rec, and Poneke were playing Petone. You were down and then came back to draw at full time, and it went to be one of the most craziest extra time periods in probably Wellington club rugby for a long time. Tell us about that experience of the final, and that possibly been the craziest game you've been a part of?
Yeah, that's definitely probably my favorite game I've ever played. 100 minutes out there versus Petone, sunny day. They had a few hurricanes playing for them, so that was always going to be. We always knew it was going to be tough. A lot of the old heads had the hair dyed pink, blue, yellow, all that. So
I remember that.
Yeah. Thing into the mix. Yeah, and then Moses Nuttallvale, I think he must have played like 100 minutes at hooker, scored a try in the corner, I think, in the extra time to get a match shift. I also dropped the ball over the line in the first 15 minutes too, actually. So that wasn't a great memory, but no, I cramped up. Also, I cramped up both calves just after full time too. So I think everyone was cramping up at that point. But yeah, that was a mean day, mean night. Good result.
Were you allowed to dye your hair, or were you under strict instructions from your mother?
No, I think that was just an old head thing. I don't know what they're doing, being childish. But I was never going to dye my hair.
Your 50th game came up for you against Huddle Boys Maris in May 2023. How special was that occasion for you?
Yeah, that was a big occasion. I think might have been old timers. I can't 100% remember. But yeah, there was Huddle Boys at home again, rainy as day. But I mean, at Poneke 50 is not the biggest thing we celebrate. It's more the Blazers at 30 starts, which is more of an event. But I'm just grateful to be able to reach both milestones.
Potentially your 74th game, according to Club Rugby, or you could be close to 80 this Saturday. What has been your best moment for Poneke?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't want to keep going to the Hardham Cup final, but that was clear favourite of mine. Just because it was also my Blazer game that game. So yeah, just 2-1, great day, great night. But if I was going to pick out another game, always the Auries ones. I think it was my second year in the team. Julian Sabia played for Auries. His first game back or something from coming overseas or whatever. And we managed to beat them at Kabuni Park. So that was a big result for us.
Now, of course, you're back. We're going to ask you this. What has been the best try for Poneke and why when you've been playing?
Best try. I don't know. I like the ones where you dive in the corner, like the league ones. Yeah, I think I scored one like that against Huddy Boys. But yeah, no real standouts come to mind. Probably yeah, just those Xavier Coates sort of ones.
Who have been the best influences during your time while playing at Poneke in the Premier side?
I was fortunate when I came in. There was quite a good nucleus of old heads. So there's the likes of Nuttall, Greg, Stewie, Cole Stewart, Buckeye. Yeah, I can't name all of them. Hunts, who are all quite good leaders. Nuttall is probably like the dad that you always look up to. Everyone listens. He's just a natural born leader. He always looked after us, looked after me as well. So I think, yeah, Nuttall as a forward. As a back, or probably Hunter's the only one still playing. So, I mean, even though he's probably the oldest out of all of them, so he's been around my whole life at PK, so he's had a big influence on it too.
Always ask this question to a lot of people that come on the Hui. Who has been the toughest opponent you have played against and why?
Toughest. I think my welcome to Premier rugby moment was, I think it was my first or second year. We were versing Norths when they were thriving, and I was up against Lossie Filippo, and that was pretty tough. It was at Norths. Yeah, I think we lost a game too. Sunny airs, just on an island against him on the wing. So yeah, that wasn't too much fun.
Poneke is well known for having some great characters of Wellington Rugby. Who's the one teammate you get along with, and who is the biggest pest in the team now that Mitch Goff has gone?
Who do I get along with the most? Probably my flatmate, Nick Robertson. He kind of just followed me everywhere. Just wants to be my best friend and all of that. So he's probably the closest I'm with, Nick. And then biggest pest, probably, well, off the field is probably Dominic Sieper. He's a massive pest. On the field, I mean, Caleb used to talk heaps of trash, but he's calmed it down now. It's pretty tame now. I think Noah on the field is pretty. He loves the celebrations nowadays. So yeah, probably those three.
Speaking about celebrations, we mentioned Mitch Goff before. He had one of the most outrageous try celebrations last year. What is your try celebration? Are you just someone that just grounds the ball and just gets up and moves on?
Yeah, no, I don't. I'll never do anything like that. Yeah, I don't think I've ever celebrated anything, to be honest. Quite tame, but yeah, I'm just one of those guys score and move on, I guess.
Now, of course, rugby is well known. You mentioned how you, at the pre-season, had to bulk up. Have you had any sort of significant injuries while you've been playing Premier Rugby?
No, I've actually been quite fortunate. So I've never missed more than a couple of weeks, I don't think. My first few years, I think I missed maybe one game. Last year, missed a bit more. I think I'm just getting a bit older. But yeah, no, I've never had any significant injuries, not the last 5 years, not through college, so just fingers crossed, keep that going.
Kilbirnie Park is a pretty impressive place to play, but where in Wellington, in the Wellington region, is the hardest place to play club rugby, in your opinion?
Well, there's different, the likes of Lyndhurst, Houston, Polo Ground, those ones, those are I feel like they're quite close to everything. Like the supporters are quite close on the sidelines. It's quite compact grounds, narrow grounds. So those are always tough to play on. And then there's the likes of the Tony Rec, Poneke Park, which are more grand. Fields are better, but yeah, they both have their pros and cons. But yeah, those sort of parks are my favourite to play at.
Outside of rugby, what do you do in particular in the off season?
So for work, I'm a US tax accountant, so it's pretty niche. I just basically to put it short, I do tax for US people over here. Just find it easier for them to find a tax accountant over here, so we do US taxes for them. So I just work that 9 to 5. In the off season, don't do much really. Just gym, stay fit, spend time with my partner, and then just catch up with mates in there, I guess.
St. Pat's Town is known as one of the top Catholic boys' schools, not only in Wellington and New Zealand. You're a former student of St. Pat's Town. Tell us about your time there.
yeah, it was me going into it. I think only one boy from my intermediate went to St. Pat's, so I didn't really know anyone going into it. But after 5 years there, I loved my time there. Good bunch of boys. Successful sports school when I was there too. I think we won a couple McKevities too. The boys won our first 15 championship. So yeah, I enjoyed my time there.
In particular, rugby, it's in your DNA. And of course, what rugby teams did you play for while you were at St. Pat's Town?
Rugby at school, I didn't really crack it, or I didn't really like spend a bit of a shy boy, so I didn't really like promote myself in school. So I played just all the weight grades. Then I think the last 2 years I just played seconds, 15s with not all little. He was a big influence at that time.
Was there ever an opportunity for the first 15, or was at that time second 15 the highest you played?
Yeah, seconds. I played one game, like the last game of my year 13. I think it was against Hastings, firsts. And then I played Samoans my year 13 too. But yeah, that was as high as I went.
That game against Hastings, you said you played. What was that like playing against Hastings, which is one of the top rugby schools in the country?
Yeah, came off the bench. I didn't get much game time, but yeah, I think that was the time when they had all the Super Rugby stars in their team. So it was a bit. I think we lost, but yeah, it was a big step up from what I've been playing.
Of course, besides rugby, you also were part of another sport at St. Pat's Town. You, alongside your brother as well, played water polo. How was it playing water polo, and did it help you fitness-wise when it came to rugby in the winter?
Yeah, played water polo with yours truly as our coach, Brad. Yeah, it was big for my fitness. I think my mum got me into swimming growing up, so I swam for ages, and that helped me with like all my sports, just staying fit, and team sports and that on Saturdays. And yeah, with water polo, jammed that. I think our school is pretty good, internationals basically every year, and yeah, loved it.
Was there any other sports you played at town? I hear you were pretty handy yourself at basketball as well.
No, I never played serious basketball. I played cricket. I used to play cricket. Coming into school, I was in the 9As with Phil. You just had Luke Georgeson.
That's right, yeah.
So played cricket growing up. Was a fast bowler, or pace bowler back then. But then I just felt it was too long, so I just gave up.
Yes. Is there one game you've played for Poneke where you learnt the most about yourself as a player?
I think it's those. Well, there's no specific game I can think of, but it's those games where like you come off the field and you feel like you could do more, or like you've made a few mistakes, or like just stuff that you know you could have done better at. I think a big confidence or turning point for me was Tawa maybe 2 years ago. 2 years into my time in the team. There was a kick to win it, and I missed it. The boys got around me immediately after, but like now 5 years down the track, I can't escape it. They're always on my case about it. But yeah, that was a big point where I was like, confidence probably down the most, and just a big learning curve.
From that moment, what are the big learnings? How do you build that resilience back when you have to go get up again for the next game?
Yeah, so I think for me, I kind of naturally just don't worry about stuff. So like I flush it pretty quick. I just try to tell myself it's some like bigger stuff to rugby. Like there's no point dwelling on it. weeks on weeks, just flush it and just be better next time.
What goals do you still have in your playing career for Poneke? What do you still want to achieve?
Last year, I kind of wanted to go use it to go overseas to play not like professional or anything like that, but just use it as like an avenue to further my career off the field. So go to a different country and then play some rugby over there while I'm working. But I just got lazy, didn't do the admin for it. But in the immediate future, it's probably just I want to try get to 100 caps, I guess, getting pretty close to that. So we can stay here for a few years, try to crack that, because there's some big names on the board up at PK. That would be I'd love to be a part of. Johnsonville
this Saturday at home, who have also had a strong start to the season. They lost to Wainui last week. How is Poneke preparing for the challenge of the Hawks at Kilburnie Park?
So I think our prep is more try and just focus on ourselves, not to worry too much about Jabil this week. Naturally, I think last year we split the results. We won the Nuttall Shield in the round robin, and they knocked us out of the Huddy Cup. So it should be a tight game, but I think Bindy's just been saying this week just to focus on ourselves, don't worry about them. And then we'll just stick to our game plan on that, and hopefully it's a fine day.
The Nuttall Shield has only been going for a short time, named after one of the greats of Wellington Club Rugby at Poneke and Johnsonville. What significance does that shield have for you and the team heading into this weekend?
Yeah, it's probably, or me personally, is probably one of the top, because I swear Poneke has got a trophy with everyone in club rugby bar probably 2 clubs. But I think this is probably a top 3 shield that we want to get. I think a lot of the boys played with Nuttall to know how much he means to the club and to the club rugby scene and to us as individuals. So we'll love to retain that this year.
Now, one thing we do on here, Isaac, is we always ask our guests or someone that calls in to preview the round 5 of the Swindale Shield for this weekend. And we're going to go through the games that are up today, and I thought we'll kick off with pretty much the most important game for you, is Johnsonville and Poneke at Kilburnie Park. And you mentioned how your team's preparing. Which way are you going to go?
PK 69-0.
69-0. Oh, geez, that's a massive score. Very ambitious. I think Poneke at home will be too strong as well, so I'm going to go with the Street Kids on that one. Across the road, Marist St. Pat's, who you guys bet in round 1, and Petone, who had a last-minute loss against Upper Hutt last week. Thoughts on this game?
It'll probably be pretty close. I think Petone usually have a good team, so I'd go Petone.
Yeah, Marist have had 2 wins. They had a win at the end against Parramatta Plympton 2 weeks ago. Petone, though, I think they're a pretty solid unit. I think they will win that game as well. Next up, also in the eastern suburbs, last week, Ori's held on to win in the last minute against Old Boys University, and they're up against an impressive side that you've already played against, Tawa. This could be a real dogfight, this one, couldn't it?
Yeah, this is probably match of the round. I could go either way. I'll probably go. I think Ori's are undefeated.
Ori's are undefeated. Yes, they are. Yep.
Yeah. I'll probably just go Ori's in.
Yeah, I think Ori's as well, particularly at home. And if those forwards get going, they are very hard to stop indeed. So I think Ori's on that one. Back in the Hutt Valley, over the hill, and Wainui Mata, a team that you guys often have some tough matches against. They're playing against Northern United. Thoughts on these two that contested the Jubilee Cup final 2019?
Yeah, I think Wainui are tracking pretty well this year, so I'll go Wainui on this one.
Yeah, I think after what I saw last week and some of the results there, and Wainui beating Johnsonville, I think Wainui at home, it's yet again, I think it's one of the other toughest places in Wellington Club Rugby as well to to play against. Back in the Hutt Valley again, at Fraser Park, Avalon and the Upper Hutt Rams. The Rams with just the one loss and Avalon yet to win.
Yeah, I'll go Upper Hutt on this one too. I think we got them on our old timers, so I'd like to see them lose, but yeah, I think they'll.
Yeah, Avalon put up a good fight against Tawa for about 60 minutes, but Tawa ended up beating them in the end. I'm going to go Upper Hutt in that one. Staying in the Hutt Valley, Hutt Old Boys Marist and Wellington. Wellington you played against last week. Hutt, of course, were ahead at half-time against Parramatta Plymouton and then got beaten by, I've got 40 points put on them by Parramatta Plymouton. The Hutt Wreck should be too strong for Wellington.
Yeah, I agree. Hutt Old Boys.
And of course, the last game to close out Swindale Shield Round 5 is Old Boys University, who are yet to win. Surprisingly, last year's Swindale Shield champions and Jubilee Cup winners. They're up against Parramatta Plymouton, who had a slow start to the season but bounced back well against Hutt last week with a big win. This is at Rugby League Park, and OBU, the results they've had this year, Isaac. Their first two games they lost by 2 points. Then they got well and truly beaten by Maidstone Park, and then they yet again lost again last week by a narrow margin against Oriental Rongotai. How do you see this one going?
I think this one might be pretty close too. I think Plym will find their straps. I'm going to go Plym.
Okay, and I'm going to be nice to OBU. I think OBU might just sneak home. But Parramatta Plymouton, Essie Komafasai scored another hat-trick of tries. That guy is just an absolute machine. And if he's on fire for Parramatta Plymouton, watch out. And the other game we've got on this weekend, Isaac, is Wellington College and Napier Boys High School. That is on Huddy Sports this Saturday at 1 o'clock. Wellington College lost in 2 weeks ago to Tauranga Boys, 45-31. I think Napier not as strong as last year. I don't know if you've seen much of Wellington College the last few years. Who do you think's going to go in this game?
I mean, I'm not allowed to like Cole, so I'll go Napier.
Yeah, I think Wellington College, they missed out of the final last year, but I think they showed promise against Tauranga, so I think they will sneak home against Napier, but I think it will be an extremely tough game. Well, Isaac, it's been great having you on the Huddy Hui, and it's good to see you again. And no doubt I'll probably see you in a few weeks' time when Poneke is out at Petone for their 140th celebrations. We'll see you out there.
Sweet, sounds good. Thanks for having me, bro.
Awesome. That is Isaac Moore Jenkins. It's great to see young players when they leave school. You know, they may not have got on to, the top levels of first 15 in regular games there, but Isaac's an example of a player who has flourished post-secondary school. And it's good to see him going well, in club rugby and also for his home club in Poneke. They're great people there at Poneke Rugby Club, so it's always great to have members of their club on the show. Well, as I mentioned, this Saturday, just the one game for Huddy Sports this Saturday. We're back at Wellington College. Wellington College first 15 are playing host to Napier Boys High School. Played at Wellington College at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Hopefully the weather has improved by the time that game starts. The coverage starts at 12:45 p.m. So we're looking forward to bringing you that game and hopefully sunny conditions, because the next 24, 48 hours is looking a little bit not too good weather-wise. We also have started a membership thing. So if you when we have the Huddy Hui's, members can often ask questions. We're allowed to ask questions to our guests if that's open. And it's only for members only. It's $1 a month. It helps us to, just to keep ticking along, and also to help, you guys help us support Huddy Sports as well, and keep doing what we want to do free. We mentioned a few weeks ago, we don't want to go to that stage having to put behind a paywall for games, but we want to keep these games free. So if any way you can help and support Huddy Sports, that'd be kind as well. But also having sponsors as well is quite important too. We're grateful for Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited, New Zealand, Louise Reddy of New Zealand Travel Brokers, and Jen Hickton Funeral Directors, who you see at the bottom of the screen here, and also you'll hear them in the audio of our in video as well. They're grateful supporters, but if you're wanting to help keep Huddy Sports free and to help support us, what do? We're growing, we keep growing every year, and we want to keep a good quality product for you. So if you want to help us out, head to our website, huddysports.co.nz, find us on Facebook and Instagram, or email us at huddysportsnz@gmail.com. And also just a nice message being put through here from Graham Kirkcaldy. He was watching the game at Ian Galloway Park on Saturday, and he's sent for a really nice positive message about the knowledge and good-natured description of how that was an exciting match, which was literally a last-minute win by Wellington Rugby. And he has said the setup and the background, knowing about the players, was accurate and fantastic. And he gave us a pretty good 5-star review. So it's good that we, that's what we want to do on Huddy Sports. We want to keep it positive. We want to know, keep it detailed, but we want to give you a good product as well. We want to make sure that what we do serves you best. Well, that's been the Huddy Hui for tonight. Next Wednesday, we have a guest already lined up for next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. He's been playing for the Wellington Axemen for a few seasons now. He's a Silver Stream old boy. And he operates behind the scenes at the Wellington Axemen, keeping that club going. Cam Rosengrave will be our guest on the Huddy Hui next week for episode 142. So make sure you tune in for that next Wednesday, at 7 o'clock. Well, that's been the Huddy Hui for tonight. I am Brad Hudson. Ciao for now.
It's the Huddy Hui. You can find Huddy Sports on Instagram and Facebook. And check out huddysports.co.nz.
Here on Huddy Sports, we like to thank our sponsors that have always been grateful to our causes here on Huddy Sports. Our first sponsor, Mike Pinfold Plumbing and Drain Laying Limited. If you need any drain laying or plumbing assistance, give Mike Pinfold a call on 027 430 4351 or Pinfold Plumbing at extra.co.nz. Louise Reddy of New Zealand Travel Brokers. If you need any travel advice, she's local here in the Hutt Valley in Petone. Call 021 135 3076. Louise Reddy, Louise.Reddy at nztravelbrokers.co.nz. And also to Gavin Murphy and the team at Jen Hickton Funeral Directors. They've been serving Wellington families of their funeral directoring services since 1946. So go to jenhickton.co.nz. They're all local people here in the Hutt Valley and Wellington that service our greater community. We also like to thank Ben Belusnik Visual Designs that helps with the graphics here on Huddy Sports. As here on Huddy Sports, we're always wanting to keep our content free on YouTube. So the idea of sponsors, we can promote you on live stream, our social media pages and our website. It's good to support the local community and helps keep Huddy Sport free for all to watch. So if you're interested to helping Huddy Sports, go to huddysports.co.nz or to our email address, huddysportsnz@gmail.com. Ciao for now.